All right, big story over the weekend. If you were following us at PFT, it just felt like one domino after another was falling. It started on Friday with the stunning announcement by the Washington franchise that they will undertake a thorough review of their name, which quickly became obvious. The name will change, possibly by the start of the 2020 season. And then came the Washington Post interview of Ron Rivera, the coach in Washington, who's made it clear he wants the name to change. He's got a couple of names that he likes. He's working with owner Daniel Snyder. Snyder out of the country, keeping a very tight nucleus of advisors, none of whom work for the team. It feels like he's alienated from the process. But at this point, with FedEx speaking out, with Nike speaking out, with Nike taking all Washington gear off of its website, and now with other companies like Dick's and Target and Walmart not selling any current Washington gear. Now, I thought there would be a run on the stuff containing the name that's about to go away. All the fans of the team that like that name, they want to go snatch that gear up because they want to have it. They want to wear it. They want to continue to represent the team with the name that's going away. It may be harder and harder to find. And anybody that has some, you may want to check eBay because there may be some jerseys and hats and jackets and stuff bearing that name that is selling for a pretty penny now and into the future once that name changes. And I think the closer the name is to something that honors, as Ron Rivera wants to do, Native Americans, the more relevant the outdated name will be. That's why you can make the argument, make a complete break from anything having any relevance to Native Americans, to make that name even more meaningless, make that gear even more meaningless if you have done a hard turn and a 180 and it's something that has nothing to do with Native Americans. And as I've been saying and writing at PFT, I think the National Congress of American Indians and other representative groups need to have a seat at the table. They need to be consulted as to whether or not they even want to continue to be associated with that franchise. It's possible their attitude is, screw you guys, frankly. We've been trying to get you to do the right thing for years. And now, only after you get significant economic pressure from a couple of your sponsors do you decide to move forward. FedEx was founded by Fred Smith. He is one of the minority owners of the Washington franchise. Robert Rothman, Dwight Schar are the others. Sunday's news, and we broke this as it relates to Smith and Schar, they have been trying to sell their interest. And this isn't something new. The way that the Post reported it with Schar and Smith, and they added Rothman to the mix, it creates the impression that it's something recent, that it's something new. My understanding is they've been trying for a while, unsuccessfully, to sell their interest in the team. And the reason they're struggling, you don't have any say. You own a piece of the team, but you've got no power. You've got to defer to Daniel Snyder on everything. And, really rich people don't like to be in a position like that. So the people who may be in a position to buy a chunk of the team at a valuation of $3 billion, which means if you've got 5%, well, my math is going to fall apart here quickly. What does that work out to? 1% of $3 billion would be $30 million, right? So 5% would be $150 million. Do you want to write that kind of a check for something that you would have no say over, no power over, and maybe based on everything you've heard about Daniel Snyder, he's just not the kind of guy you want to be doing business with? According to the Post, that's why Schar and Smith and Rothman want out. They're done with Daniel Snyder. And it creates an interesting dynamic because I wouldn't be shocked if, as the indignity settles in for Daniel Snyder, the billionaire who's used to always getting his way, having to change his name of the team after he came out and said in 2013 he will never, put that in all caps, never change the name. He may just decide, I'm going to cash out. Sell it to Jeff Bezos. Sell the 60% he owns and maybe the other 40% that the minority owners hold. Just sell it all to Bezos and let him take the thing over. And I don't think the league would be upset about the guy who runs Amazon being one of their partners as they try to figure out long-term streaming deals. It's one thing to do a deal with Bezos when he's not one of the owners of one of the teams. It's a very different dynamic when he's one of the people who is actually at the table with you as you're trying to figure out what these contracts are going to be. So let's keep an eye on what happens with these minority owners. They may sell and get out of it, and someone else comes in as a partner for Daniel Snyder, or maybe Snyder gets out and they stay, or everybody gets out and somebody comes in and buys 100% of the franchise moving forward.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.